Got the good vibe, got the 1942 pouring in my cup. In the session real loud, good gas, yeah, you know we about to roll it up. Bring the bottle to the session, big tab, go ahead and just live it up. Get lit one night, after that, we can go ahead.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon. We're here on 95 South Podcast once again. First and foremost, I want to thank God for this opportunity to be able to come on here and allow us to have this platform to be able to have these great guests and have these great topics. Next, I want to introduce my right-hand man, Barry White Jr. himself, your baby mama's favorite host. You know what I'm saying? The one to keep this thing rocking and rolling behind the scenes more than you know. My man Jacob, the great. What's going on, fam?
What's up, man? Just another day to get it right. Another chance and a choice. You know, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. And so we're here to inspire and encourage and impact the world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, listen. Tonight, you know, Jacob, I don't get excited about a lot. Me and you've been around for a long time in this music business, but we ain't been around like guys right here. When I read on their bio and their storylines, I met Mr. Diamond, the guy behind the scenes with these guys, Sunday at a church event, and I seen the life in him, and when I read up on these guys' bio and their storyline, they've been around. The group itself been around since 1958. Think about it. That group been around for 66 years, 57. So 67 years, this group has been around. And that's a longevity you don't hear about every day. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna let these guys introduce themselves one by one. They have a historic history. I don't even think an hour is gonna do them justice. We're gonna try to get as much information and learn as much and get educated as much as we can by I would call a legendary group for me. And I know you would say it because I know your history lesson and how you know about music. So I know you excited about this. So I'm just gonna introduce the new impression. And I'm gonna let them introduce themselves one by one. Whoever want to go first.
I'll start. My name is Ramondo Thomas. I'm the nephew of the late great Curtis Mayfield, and I began on the road with Mr. Mayfield and the Impressions in 1969. So, like you said earlier, it's 67 years of this legacy. Of course, we weren't attached to that whole 60, but I would say that we're somewhere between 20 and 30 carrying it on from that point. So I'll let somebody else go on from there.
Robert Scott, first tenor singer, author, and been singing a long time.
Calvin Cal Thomas, former vocalist with the Barcades, former vocalist with Dr. Dre and Snoop Doggy Dogg. Done shows on HBO with the Barcades, TV Music Awards with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. 1992. To be with the Impressions is something that I never imagined in a million years. But every group in from the Barcades, it was the Curtis Mayfield sound that got me the job. So here I am here with the original Impressions. You know, God is good. So I'm get a chance to see what He has for me that I've been toiling with this voice. I really didn't even understand the gravity of, and I'm beginning to hear the stories that are really making it's connecting some dots for me, both vocally and spiritually. So it's an honor to be here. I talked to the lead singer of Arcades, Larry Dodson, said he offered me my blessings. He said he couldn't have found a better place for me other than with him. So that was to have that, and he always let me know he's a phone call away if anybody needs reference his thoughts of.
Okay. So let me ask y'all this question: being with a legendary singer like Curtis Mayfield, and basically being that the fact that some of the music y'all were doing was focused around in the time during the civil rights movement. What was that? What was the importance of that, and how seriously did y'all take the music that y'all were doing and that y'all were a part of, being that it was a part of something that was way bigger than y'all?
Okay, I think that may be a question that I may be able to answer. Coming up with Curtis, I realized that his grandmother was a Baptist preacher. So Curtis was reared in the Bible. So even though he had this talent to sing and play guitar, a lot of times he was reflecting from the scriptures, and from that attached him to the Dr. King movement. Because if you remember, every time you would just about every time you would hear Dr. King speech or have a march, you'd hear in the background, "Amen." Or either keep on pushing or we're a winner. It was always Curtis. And so it inspired us to realize that this gentleman was much more than a singer or a performer or a recording artist. He was delivering a message, and that message was fueling the movement. So for me, it's been a lifelong journey that let me put it to you like this here. When Curtis passed, here's what he said to me. He said, "Cat, finish the work."
Mm. Okay.
So his whole thing was to deliver a message to help to raise up our people and to give us inspiration because we were downtrodden. I mean, we were going through it. We really were in a bad state of mind, and this whole thing was to raise our spirit, and it worked.
Okay. So let me ask you this: y'all did a song that was for "Get on the Bus," and everybody knows that "Get on the Bus" was the movie that was portrayed for the people, a small portrayal of some of the people that was on the bus for the Million Man March. And I
Yes.
told I told my brother here, and I said I was probably about 19 at the time, and you have regrets in life, and my biggest regret is I Million Man March. You know,
Yes, sir.
I'm I'm not really, I'm not really thinking about it in that way. And so what was important, the importance of that? Let me just put it to you like this. After everything that went on through the 50s and the 60s, 70s, with with all the segregation and police brutality and everything that was going on, what was the feeling like to see a million men on that White House lawn together with no violence, coming together for one cause?
Rob, was you there?
Where? In the Million Man March?
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, I was there. It was absolutely fantastic, and especially to realize that we had an involvement in that because I was one of the writers of New World Order, the lead song, and Just a Little Bit of Love, and me and Rob sang all the background for those songs with Curtis. So it was absolutely amazing, and especially to look to think about the lyrics that we wrote, because we couldn't have wrote those lyrics had we not learned Curtis. We couldn't have sang that background had we not learned the impressions. So um, it was a great opportunity for us, and I think that the song right now should be all over the world playing because it's right now that same song is speaking about everything that's happening in this world right now today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead and jump in, Jay. I know you probably at the top ready.
Well, when you talk about Mr. Mayfield and you talk about the Dr. King movement, and I remember my daddy had the what they call the Capone set, the 45 records. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And so I can remember that, and I can remember him riding his brand new Deuce and a Quarter, and he having an 8-track deck. you know, in the Deuce in the Quarter. You know, when he was playing like Mr. Mayfield, Al Green, and Otis Redding, and the Temps, and Jerry Butler, and so and for that movement, you can hear a few people inside of Curtis. You can hear Dr. King. You can hear Reverend James Cleveland. You can hear Andre Crouch. You can hear Mahalia Jackson. You can hear Ray J and Brandy Aunt Dorothy Norwood. You can hear those type of people that you can see him doing the vibe with. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so his level of because songwriting is an art form, just like singing is an art form. So his level in what he wrote, he wrote from another dimensional, another destination. He wrote for the times that he was in, but he seen what could happen in the future, if we don't let the if we don't let society in channel our thought process or stagnate our process. And so a lot of chords he played on the guitar, they were so moving. And I ain't even talking about his singing. I'm just talking about the music that he played. It just puts your soul into another mind frame, man. And so I want each of you to talk about what the art form of music means to you, whether it be the percussions, whether it be the chords, whether it be the piano keys, or whether it be the gift that God has blessed y'all with to sing. So if y'all can chime in on the art form, because a lot of people these days don't understand when you say the art form of music, it's like a foreign language to them. And so without a person understanding the art form, then they could never be the best musician or the best recording artist that they could ever be.
Well, I think we ought to start that off with Robert Scott.
What's that?
That question.
Art form of music to me is just expressing yourself. I'm a writer, so I like writing, and I express myself through the lyrics that I write. Like telling the story, basically.
But what does it mean to you in depth when you tell your story from another destination where you have to take people there with you?
That's a good question.
Like I say, I just express myself through the music that I write. Pray that I reach your heart or touch your life with what I'm saying through the song.
You know something? I think I can add on to that. Robert Scott wrote a song I think is one of the most beautiful songs in the world. It's called "Into Your Arms," and in this song, it touches your soul. I mean, every time I've seen him sing this solo on stage at a church, it brings tears to your eyes because it's so deep. So I think in trying to help to answer that question, like for myself, like you said, what instrument do we gravitate to, or do I, let's say for instance myself, I like keyboards quite a bit. Curtis loved guitar, and Curtis loved percussions too. He was really fond of percussions and string instruments. Me, I like keys. I like bass. I'm kind of a funk artist anyway,
Oh, oh.
So
So
I'm
stop
with
right
the
there.
yeah, I'm
Hold,
with
hold,
the
hold, hold it there, Mr. Thomas. Hold it there. So this gave me a little insight about you. Like when I hear a person say they like that bass guitar, the rhythm and lead is great. But if you have a good bass player in your band, or
Right.
just
yes,
a good bass player
yeah,
in your church, you got something different, man.
and
You
and
got,
and
man,
drummer, because
right,
that
right,
foot got
drama
to
too,
match that
drama
bass.
too. Because man, I forget the fella name, but the bass player on the Temptation, Papa was a Rolling Stone. I forgot what his name is, but I can tell you what, man. When I heard that bass come in there, man, I said, Lord have mercy, man. I can remember sitting there with my dad watching a movie, man, and my dad was like, "Man, listen at that bass. Do 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 you hear that bass guitar, man?" You know what I mean? And like you said, a great drummer. Because I feel like, when I hear people, you know, that play the bass, I'm thrown away. But when I can hear somebody play that rhythm, that rhythm in that lead, somebody like a John Mayer, the sing the song Gravity, the white dude that sang the song Gravity. So them screens are a different sound, and the screens, the piano, you know, and I would say, man, that saxophone put you at another level too, man. Understanding what instrument can take you, and understand how it can make you feel good, or understanding how BB King put that blues into you and tell you the thrill is gone. When he go down low with it, man. Ding, 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 you know what I mean? Them keys, them chords hit you all the way down to your ankles, all the way up to your soul. So that music is different, man. So, and when you said that bass, listen, man, you speaking the
So
gospel for real, for
let,
real.
let me drop a little something else on you, because just a little bit more background on me. After Curtis passed, I got with Cameo for 10 years. So you
Oh,
already know that's that hard
oh,
funk. And
oh,
Aaron Mills was on bass. So now you already know, boy,
yeah,
it's like Candy. We ain't playing with that thing. So
that's
we
right,
we
that's right.
we like it smooth, but we also have a very hard, intense sound and feel. I'm a producer. So I look at the whole thing. I look at the drums, the bass, the guitar, the keys, the vocals. I'm looking for everything, because normally Rob would tell you, when me and Rob would normally go into the studio, I mean into rehearsal, we don't come out for 3 months. And that's when we hit the stage. We gonna grind 3 months, so that when we hit the stage, everything is so natural we can't even forget it.
Mm.
Mm. Well, let me
Man,
ask you
you
a question real quick before you move forward. Before you move forward, Jacob, because okay, so we got arcades, we got Cameo, we got we got Curtis May. So
United.
okay, so what did y'all learn? Like really learn that y'all take all of this, y'all bring to this group, because y'all work with straight legends, like people that won't never die till this earth ends all together. And
Amen.
you don't
Well,
see that today, where you see three gentlemen like yourself who worked with legends and brought y'all own talent to the movement. But of
As,
course,
as, as a
y'all
matter of
learn
fact,
all time.
let me give you just a little bit more, because Robert Scott also works with Rob.
Blue
I
Magic.
always forget his name with Blue Magic.
Ted
Huh?
Mills.
Ted
Ted Mills,
Mills.
lead singer, Blue
So
Magic.
Rob works with Ted Mills, as well as me and Rob and Calvin Youngblood before he passed. We used to be in a group in the very beginning with Ollie Woodson from the Temptations. So we've been around, man. We've been we've been on stage with everybody. I've worked with Too Short, and as you can see, we just met Calvin right here in the center not long ago, and when we heard him sing and he coined that Curtis. See, I know Curtis' voice so well. When I heard that accolade of Curtis, now I say, there he is, Rob. I see, there he is right there. I said, hold on, I said, because my partner called me up. He said, man, he said, I got your guy you've been looking for, because we've been looking for the person that can really hit that note right. And so when we ran into Calvin, man, it was like, hey, we're back again. So Calvin, this is your turn,
I
brother.
mean,
What you got to say?
so
Only thing I can
Calvin, you work with
people
with
get ready,
Dre back in the day, right? You was with Snoop.
Huh?
coming, don't need no kid. You just get on.
Get on board.
That's what
Yeah.
I got to say. People get ready. The train coming. Don't
Yes.
need no baggage. You just get on board.
Hmm.
So with Curtis and everything else that we've been involved in, I think that we are very, very versatile in what we can bring to the stage. I mean, and then we have many years of performing on stage. Me and Rob and I've watched Calvin on stage to standing ovations. We're used to standing overs. We're
Hmm.
used to that. So we kind of know how to engage the audience. We've always been, when we were in our own group called Pure Sugar, we would always engage the audience. You know, we didn't never just, we were never just on stage just for you to look at us and say, okay, they're doing a great job. No, you're a part, this is a party and we're all involved. And we would come out there in the audience and get them. And boy, I mean, people just loved it. So we
Okay,
have a lot of fun on stage.
stop right there for a second. Because me and my partner talk all the time. I manage artists, and my thing has always been stage presence. And I always would tell artists, especially young artists, if you have a great stage presence and you got one or two hit records, you're gonna be eating for the rest of your life. I said that's the reason why all these legendary groups are still performing to this day. Because if a person my age or older go to a concert and we spend our hard-earned money, we know we gonna go out. The women gonna sweat out their perms. The men gonna have to get Ben Gay on their knees, and when they get to the house, because we know we gonna have us a party. We gonna have a good time. So how important? And I want to ask. I want Cool Cow to answer this question. How important is it to have a great stage presence?
It can get you a job on its own. I've been in groups where I wasn't the best singer, but my stage performance, we had to have. I mean, the Barcades, the lead singer, if you need him to call to verify what, he have no problem with answering the phone and responding. But he's trying to get me back now, even to this day. Praise the Lord, because I've told him, you need with me. There's vocalist in Memphis, and he said it's bigger than vocals. We got vocals. So the entertainment, I had that before I became the vocalist. I was the youngest of 5 boys. My brothers didn't sing. We were sports. Singing wasn't even in the equation. I learned to sing when I was about 28, 29.
Oh, back up. Technophile on the play. Whoa. So you said singing wasn't even in the equation when you was growing up.
No, I was the youngest of 5 boys.
Wow.
Sports, growing up in Ohio, sports, my brothers were superstars. They were expecting me to be the next. I told the good Lord, you don't have anything for me. They had the blessing. I didn't get it. I was shorter. I got a brother that's 6'8". And, I'm talking about, I had Dominique Wilkins. I actually got a chance to talk to him on the phone. He was in prison. Dominique talked to him and got out and encouraged him to stay out, and just encouragement. These are the kind of things that God has been. I'm on my life has been a spiritual journey coming from. No singing background, nobody, no cousins, no aunt, no one. I just believed that, I want to do something different. I had to prove. And I said, God, I'm putting it on you. They told me about you, and I'm finna find out if you're real. I drove all the way to California, and next thing you know, within 3 weeks, I was on MTV Music Award with Dr. Snoop. And it was part of my image and my entertainment is what they saw. I walked in and they put me in front of it and I performed, and I wasn't the best singer in there. The guy who sang, I ain't mad at
Danny Boy
was in there. And I already knew, I had heard of him. So, but it was my entertainment. I'm on the MTV Awards, not him.
That's right.
Go to YouTube, it'll be there for the rest of our lives. 1992, introduced by Eddie Murphy and Black Moses introduced. It's only happened one time in life. It's on YouTube. You can Google. And there I had to tell my mom, I had just got to California and I'm getting ready to go on stage. Just got a son who just went to prison. Here, her youngest goes to California, and I'm telling her, turn the TV on. I'm on death. I had to stop because I was about to tell him on death row. And in her mind, mama's old. She thought death row. My son that went to California on death row. My young. So, but when she turned the TV on, she couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe it. Her son was. I had the same suit on. I had left Ohio in. They told me, you keep that same suit on. Everybody paid for their costumes but me. And me, Dr. Dre, and Snoop. If you turn the MTV Music Award 1992, you'll see everybody got on costumes, but Dr. Dre, Snoop, and me. I had my suit on. I met him in. But God has been good like that. as I moved on, because I believed in God and I didn't believe that this was the end of my journey, I left, and next thing you know, I'm on HBO in Aruba with the Barcades. I'm like, God, you are for real. So I was able to leave that, and I got married, and just took a hiatus and concentrated on being married and being with one woman, and just the essence of all of those, the blessings that come from that. And here I took my dog to pick up Ray's brother was giving a dog away, and I took my wife to get that dog, and in that dog I met Ray's brother, and he introduced me to Ray, and next thing you know, I'm here. So, but my love for Curtis Mayfield was more so from people telling me about him. I never knew him, and now that I've met these guys, I'm like in a mad study of of Curtis Mayfield, and have Ray know his essence, and he's like, I can give you everything you miss. So that's a comfort for me, because my style of Curtis, it was a style of Curtis. I'm like, I can't do Curtis, but I have a style that the people are relating to. I mean, these are professionals, the Barkays and the Snoop Dogs, and these people they hear people singing for them all the time. And poor me, I just had this sound, but it sounded like Curtis. So to be with these gentlemen here is, good Lord, I take it strictly as that. And getting the blessings from the lead singer of the Barkays, Larry Dodson, to tell me that I don't want you anywhere but with me. But with that's you. God cursed me to prevent you from at least putting your foot in that water. So here I am. I'm here on the Lord's blessing. The gentlemen, I got a chance to meet them, and it is the humbleness and the eagerness and the knowing of Curtis. For me, I'm absorbing it all. So this is just another step. This podcast. It's my first time being a part of this, so it's all new to me. I'm 63 years old, and God is good. That's all I have to say.
Okay, I can dig. Now, this is what I want to say to all of you gentlemen. Now, I'm a church boy from South Carolina, man. So my level of music stems from quartets. But in my travels, meeting guys like yourself, meeting guys like Cooler Gang, meeting some guitar players that play for James Brown, just meeting, Mr. Phillip from Earth, Wind and Fire back in the day. But what I've had the pleasure of understanding about these guys, now this after I met them, right? Understanding that their level of music stems from a lot of quartet too, and a lot of Southern blues gospel. Because people say quartet, that's Southern blues gospel. That's all. That ain't nothing but Southern blues gospel, man. And if you understand how you might see somebody in funk, or somebody in Southern soul, or blues gospel, or what we call in South Carolina look house music,
Mm-hmm.
and it stems from that good quartet, because a lot
Amen.
of these guys that some of our favorite guys, they learn how to play quartet, whether their granddaddy taught him how to play the rhythm, bass, or blues, or their granny sat them beside them on their piano stool and taught them how to play every key,
You're
or
correct,
or
man.
or God bless them to have a gift and hear a song one time and play it on the piano, because they play by ear, and so that just stems from what we call the greatest music circuit of our time is the Chitlin Circuit music, the Chitlin Circuit tours. I tell people all the time, like, why did artists move away from it? The Chitlin Circuit been famous forever, way before I was even born. You know what I mean? So, from what you guys see, tell us about your Chitlin Circuit days, Mr. Thomas, and how that stem for you to have a whole different type of network.
I don't understand the last part of the question, but what do you
The,
mean?
when I say the Chitlin Circuit days, how
Now,
did that?
I'm well acquainted with the chilling circuit days.
Okay, so how did that grow your network, and as big as your network is today? Did the Chitlin Circuit help that a lot? And do you think they need to get back to the Chitlin Circuit days as far as music?
Well, the Chitlin Circuit at that time, what we did was when we would hit the road, we got the van, we put the equipment in there, and the impressions got it in the Lincoln. The rest of us got in the van, and then we drove. Marv Hyman, who was the business manager, my father was the road manager. So we had an itinerary where we would go from city to city, and all the gigs was lined up right behind each other, so that every stop was as close as possible to the last gig. So we would go, and then we would take that from Chicago and go clean across the nation wherever the gigs went. And of course, that was it. So the Chitlin Circuit was always those little small clubs. I mean, some of them had dirt on the floor. I remember those
Hole
days.
in the wall.
I mean, you
Hold,
talking about Chitlin Circuit, yeah.
Mr. Thomas, hold,
Oh,
hold on for a minute. Stop right there. You said Chicago. I want to ask you one question.
Yes, sir.
How many times have you been in the same area with Sly Johnson?
Who?
Sly Johnson,
You ain't talking about Sly Stones.
famous jazz singer that's R&B singer Selena Johnson dad. That's from Chicago.
I don't know
Uh,
him.
he was around that same circuit with Donny Hathaway and Phyllis Hyman and all that. They just Billboards just awarded him, you know, will award his daughter a plaque. So when you said Chicago, I thought maybe you guys been around the same area.
That's where we're originally from.
Okay,
We're from Curtis, and all of us are from Chicago.
okay,
And so I knew Donny Hathaway and Leroy Hudson because they used to be roommates.
right.
Because after Curtis left the Impressions, Leroy Hudson became the lead singer. But as to finishing off your question about the Chitlin Circuit, I have probably done 1,000 shows in those little small clubs around the nation from 1969 until about, I think we might have slowed down around 19, almost close to, I'm gonna say, well, about 1986, 1987. So from 69 to 87, we was on the road.
Wow.
Chitlin Circuit.
And it's funny you say that, Mr. Thomas, because I tell people all the time, where I'm at in South Carolina, it's about an hour from where James Brown grew up at. So, and I have conversations with different radio personalities, and I said, you know who James Brown is, right? They said, sure. I was like, well, man, without this Chitlin Circuit, you, me, whoever it is, would have never knew who James Brown was, man.
That's
Ever,
right.
ever, man. So, and I just think you said that from 69 to 87. That's what you said, right?
I'm gonna say from 69 to about 86, because my dad died in 86, and that's when everything just really slowed down. Because he was the road manager,
Hmm.
and that's what we did. We stayed on the road.
Okay. So,
And
so
I would like to add a little something to this, because I don't want to
okay.
miss this. Something very important about Curtis. When Curtis was writing all these songs, going all the way back from what's the name of that song? I asked you about it the other day, Cal. The first one, what was it? Uh, Never Let Me Go, Never Let Me Go. You got it. The one that I told you, that's the kind of song that you can go and make $50,000 a night on stage, because the song is so, you know what I'm saying? It's just so classic. It's such a classic. But then when you look at Curtis going up throughout the years, what you notice is that by the time I would say around 1970, 1969, 70, he started gravitating into the movie business. Most of his albums were always connected to a movie.
mm-hmm.
Uh, let's do it again. Claudine, Sparkle, Superfly, Short Eyes, Get on the Bus. I mean, when you just really look at this thing, you can see that he was really into writing scores for movies, and that's the greatest thing I learned from him.
So let me ask you about them scores, man. As far as the movie scores and the music licensing, um, like Mr. Curtis, you know, we talking about 1970, 71, 72, so on and so forth, all these years that he was getting checks for music licensing and you know, writing movies for movie scores and stuff like that. And it's the level of smartness for him is crazy because back in those days, a lot of artists didn't understand,
That's right.
and a lot of artists don't understand nowadays. So, can you just chime in a little bit about on movie scores and music licensing? You know, just for the people that's watching, and even the up and coming younger artists that may want to get into that right there.
Curtis was very, very, very smart. Um, he made a deal with a Jewish manager by the name of Marvin Hyman, and he made a deal, and Marvin ended up with 40% of Curtom Records, and Curtis had 60%. And so Marvin, being Jewish, think about this. Washington, this is the intelligence of Curtis. Curtis knew that as long as this guy, his manager, his business manager, was of that stature, then
Uh-huh.
the royalties. See, Marv would never let nobody take his royalties, which means they could never take Curtis's.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So what
Mhm.
Curtis did was normally these record companies that are normally owned by a lot of Jewish companies, Jewish people, they normally end up with your royalties. You get a little bit, but Curtis was smart. Curtis ended up with all of his royalties. He ended up owning all of his masters.
Mm.
So even with Superfly, watch this. When Superfly came out, Superfly did 29 no, Superfly did $31 million at the box office, and the album Superfly, that was the movie, the album did 29 million. Curtis walked
Mm.
away with 22 in
Mm.
1972. It's never been
Lord.
heard of. He had broke all the records. He was the greatest, the biggest selling artist of all time at that time, and they didn't beat his record out until the Bee Gees came back with Saturday Night Fever.
Mm.
And
Wow.
he's still probably in the top 12 right now of all times.
Hold
22
on,
million.
man. You so hold on. I'm gonna say this, and I can't even get back to you. Now, this is a history lesson, a music lesson. When you say those two names in the same statement, Curtis Mayfield and the Bee Gees, I'm just wondering, do people really understand me? Do people really understand the impact of Curtis Mayfield and how he inspired people like like the Bee Gees and I'm gonna tell you another cat that he inspired, and because I heard him call Curtis Mayfield's name on an interview, a fella by the name of Michael McDonald.
Come on.
I can remember when him and Patty Bell was getting interviewed about the song "On My Own." They said,
I'm
"What
gonna
did
show you.
Paul say?" Go ahead.
I'm gonna show you somebody else he inspired, and nobody's really never even thought about this. Watch this. All you got to do is listen to the song "Kiss" by
Prince.
Prince. That's
Oh yeah,
Curtis.
Mm.
I
Don't
did.
yeah.
have to be beautiful. That's
When
Curtis.
you told me that, I went and looked at that, Ray, and man, it was like I've been hearing it all this time and never put that two and two together. You told me
Yes,
that.
it's Curtis.
Man, what a tidbit.
Mm. So I'm gonna go back and listen to that one. I'm gonna
Real
go back and listen to that one just because.
When you listen at Pharrell on "Happy," that's Curtis.
Yeah. I
yeah,
can see that. I can see that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You did in the song "Happy."
That's
That's
Curtis.
Curtis all the way.
So right now, Curtis' voice is so profound that right now, to encapsulate and encompass that voice right now, and with the right lyrics and music, we got a hit. And that's what I'm getting ready to pull up out of Mr. Calvin, my brother Thomas, because I know he got it.
Yes, 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 yes,
I've
yes.
been toting that bag. I've been toting that bag. I'm hearing some knowledge that's connecting some dots, man. To me, to
Come
my,
on, brother.
you know, what I mean, I've been told I had the sound, but I mean, I'm hearing him spiritually, and I'm knowing that. And I've been watching him every day, different songs. I'm just amazed. I'm damn near scared.
See,
But you said
I'm
you
gonna
heard.
add something to this. I don't want to cut you, but I want to make sure that we get this out because this is very, very important. We the new impressions. And
Mm.
Curtis said to me before he passed, he said, "Cat, finish the work." And when he said that, I didn't understand it. It took me some years to understand. As a matter of fact, I asked him a stupid question. I asked him, I said, what work? I didn't know what he was talking about. I said, I can't sing like you, I can't write like you, I can't play like you. What are you talking about? He said, I didn't ask you to do none of that. He said, and he was on the dying bed. He said, I didn't ask you to do none of that. He said, you don't supposed to do me. You got to do you, but you finish this work because you know what the work is. You've been with me all your life. Don't you play no games with me.
Mm.
That
So,
and see
so
what's amazing about this is
I got scolded.
this coming from a professional point of view, from a great musician, a great songwriter, and a great singer and a great showman because he had a lot of style and a lot of showmanship. But
Yes.
when he's talking to you, he's talking to his nephew, so it's that blood lineage and it's that spiritual connection with two kindred spirits. So
Amen.
that was
Yes.
totally different.
Amen.
What he was saying to me in essence was, you've been with me too long to not know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
How can you not know what to do after all these years? So what was there to do? The bottom line is that we have to produce an album that finishes. We have to finish this message. And
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna do a movie that's going to direct and it's going to show our people, the same people that he was directing this message to, which is our people. We're going to show us what we need to do, because
Mm.
that's what it was all about. That's what Martin was talking about. That's what Elijah was talking about. That's what I mean, every last one. I'm all the way to Marcus Garvey. We were always trying to get free, always trying to reach this salvation. That's all Curtis was doing, and it's the same thing we got to. And we got. I mean, it's just time for us to finish the job, and we
It,
can do it.
amen. I'm gonna
Yeah.
add to that there, man, because when I met the guys, I told them, I said, I got a song, and it goes, the words is, the Bible said the last will be first, I mean, it's our time. I've been
I love
I've been
it.
last for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
and I'm my
Bible
favorite
said it.
scripture in the Bible. Always been. You
And I
know.
wrote
Yes.
the song and I had Curtis in mind. I just believe it to my heart that it's true. And we are in the day. This is our day. This is
Y'all brothers really make my night, man. I love y'all brothers, man. Just to have you guys on this show with us and knowing that I was a legit, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, you know, listen to people, people that was coming up with like Curtis and Marvin and this what I'm gonna say. For him to stand out amongst the giants that he stood out in from Curtis Mayfield was something special, man. Because if we look back on who was on that competition forum with him, there was a lot of great talent, man. A
Yep.
lot of great talent. And I just want to ask all of you, that's on here, man. Who are y'all favorite gospel artists growing up or now, or
I
or just a person, because people got to know the spot we might see Curtis on stage, we might see, um, you know, you on stage, Mr. Smith, and you Cat and you, Mr. Scott. Each of y'all have something spiritual about y'all that y'all can relate to certain gospel artists. So who would y'all say that you like to listen to is one of your favorites?
well, for me, my favorite gospel artist is Marvin Winans
Okay, okay.
of the Winans.
I can see that.
Fred Hammond.
Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Fred Hammond and Rance Allen.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
There's something about the name Jim. My favorite all time song, boy. That
And
got me through some dark times back in the day. That one
I,
song.
I knew him when he had R&B song out.
Yeah, I
Oh,
got
wow.
a oldest son. He's his favorite artist is Rance Allen, and because my oldest son is autistic, but he learned how to play drums when he was 3 years old by playing on pots and pans. He could play
Oh,
any type of. He could play anything. He could play country, rock and roll. Not really pop head, but he'd go. And just a quick story. I took him to a dive bar last year. We went to a down at Panama City. He went to a dive bar. It was an older white group in there playing live music. He went up to him and said, "Sir, can I play at least one song?" He went in there. He did so good. He did 2 sets with him, and they said he didn't miss a beat. He just got on there and did his thing. You know.
Wow.
Wow.
So yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, he definitely got that gift.
I forgot to mention that
Say,
on
good.
the last album that Curtis did, that me and Ray sung on New World Order, Prince even said himself that was one of the best albums he had heard in a long time.
Mm.
Oh
Yes.
wow.
Very impressed. He said it I think at a award show or something. He was really impressed with New World Order.
Yeah.
Mm.
As a matter of fact, here's what he actually said. He said, I want to give a shout out to Curtis Mayfield for the greatest song that's ever been written for Black people. That's what he said.
Okay.
Let me ask y'all this: we know the hardest thing in music to do is to go from one generation of music to another generation when you have so many different sounds. When you go from a rock and roll, you go to a funk, you go to hip hop had their hardcore music. So you got all these different sounds. You had to go disco. All of this you had to navigate through over the years. So what's been the key to y'all being able to be able to get a sound that you comfortable with, or being able to play around with different sounds and stuff? Because with Curtis Mayfield, a lot of it was very soulful, and it hit your soul, and it wasn't like what you would call all of it wasn't necessarily maybe so commercialized and fit in everybody else's norm. So how did y'all kind of navigate through that time and seen him navigate through all that?
You want to answer that, Rob?
Oh no, you go ahead.
Well, I mean, that's a real easy one. First of all, see, me and Rob have a natural harmony. It's natural, and it's just like Curtis Mayfield and the Impressions. Fred Cash and Sam Gooden had a natural harmony, and so with Curtis on top, it's automatic. Me and Rob have that natural harmony. When we first met Calvin, we were sitting in the back of Diamond's car the same day that we met, and we started hitting the "Make Me Feel Brand New," and we hit up. Everybody hit perfect notes. We never sang before ever, and it was just automatic. So see, it's like me and Rob's voices together. It's like a foundation. It's already set. As soon as me and him start singing, you're gonna hear it ring. And if the other note is right, and the other note is right, or however many notes we stack on top of that is right, it's going down. So, and I think that came from all these years that me and him have sang together.
And it don't matter what song we sing, it always be on point.
It's always the same way.
Okay.
We have a natural harmony. Matter of fact, you know something? Me and Rob have such a natural harmony, and our voices don't necessarily sound alike because he's got that pretty tenor, and I'm just an alto with some funk. But sometimes when we're singing and we're in harmony, I can't tell him from me.
Mm.
I be like, wait a minute, is that me or him? So I mean, our voices are that tight now.
So I can say, whether you are a first alto or a second alto, and he's a first tenor and a second bass, that blend is so unique.
Yes, it is.
Especially when y'all been singing together for that long. That second alto and that first tenor, and that second bass, it blends in so well together, to people have to stop and take off their hat and just stare. For
Watch
real.
this here. Let me show you how we got the name of our group. Me and Rob was hitting some notes, and we was in a restaurant, and this girl looked and said, "That sounds like Pure Sugar." We said, "That's gonna be our name right there."
That's all right then. That's all right. That's all right.
It sounds that sweet. And so when Calvin came and he hit that note on top, we all turned around and looked at each other. Diamond looked, and everybody said, "There it is."
Amen.
Man, so you done had a lot of days with that diamond in the back, the sunroof top, kicking the scene. Yeah.
No doubt about it.
I love it.
Yes, sir.
And the guy that song, he sound like Curtis.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Curtis.
absolutely right.
Yeah, that's William Devon. Everybody thought that was Curtis.
Yeah, sound just like Curtis.
Sound just like Curtis. Now he really coined it, and that's why I want to work really close with Calvin, because I know he can coin Curtis. I know
Mm.
it. And see, from there, once we got it completely down, we're gonna find a new song. Me and him and Rob are gonna write something new, and it's gonna be bad. I see it coming. It hasn't even happened yet. I see it coming.
He said, "Hey, Icon, what did he say? It's gonna be bad, and
It's
I
gonna
see it
be
coming. That's what I'm talking about."
Hey,
I see it.
hey, one thing I want to say is when I met Cal and I met Mr. Diamond, and the one thing I told my wife, I said the one thing about when you meet these older gentlemen, the humbleness behind it. And
Hey,
because I've been around so long, and I meet artists all the time that around my age, and they might have been in the game 10 years, whatever it is, but they so arrogant and they think they got this entitlement about them. And I'm like, but if you look at these gentlemen right here that's been around for decades and they're still doing it, these guys still traveling, on a regular basis, still performing. That ain't nothing but a blessing from God. And
hey,
Yeah,
because like he's like the nephew up here said, nephew said, Unc said, look, listen, you got to finish the job. And that means that's like God telling Moses, I need you to
yes,
go out and
man.
do this work for me.
Now
And
I don't mean to cut you off, but when he told me that, man, that it hit me. It was like this man here is not playing no games with you.
hmm
You done been all over the world, Cool Cal and Cal, whatever they call you, but this man here is talking from a spirit that, and I felt that. So go ahead. I don't mean to cut you. I felt that
yeah,
he.
but I just want to say, I want to give y'all a appreciation of what y'all doing. And I know, like, because now no, y'all even more going into the gospel side, the gospel music or whatever. And I know it's gonna y'all can go to a whole other level with that or
Oh
whatever,
yeah.
because y'all continue. It's already been in music. So and now if it's more of a focus on, I know it's going to another level. You know what I
Well, we
mean?
got we got we got a new song right now called Our Father. Do you all have it?
I do not have that song.
Uh-uh.
Is it YouTube? I can look it up, and because I'm gonna definitely be there next week of doing media. So I'm gonna be doing. Mr. Diamond asked me if I'm gonna come out there, come out and do the media for the Easter event. So
Yes.
I definitely want to see y'all live and in person, do y'all thing.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Yeah, we will put when you get a chance, pull up Our Father by the New Impressions on YouTube. And you don't see us on this. It's a video with other things on it, but that's our song. And that's what's out right now.
Okay.
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 Definitely check it out. I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Hey
Yes.
man, we got to get y'all some good distribution too, bro. Me and Icon are both A&Rs. We got to get y'all some great distribution, because it sounds like the things that y'all about to put out, the world really needs, man. And the music gonna be so impactful. So
Yes.
just if needed be, if y'all need help with anything, man, we are always open to do that.
Rob has a song, like I said, and I mentioned this earlier before he came on. Rob has a song that is so beautiful. I'm telling you, it's called "Into Your Arms." And once I've been trying to get him. He always sang it solo, and I've been trying to beg him to let us put some background on it. So he done finally agreed to it. So we gonna go in and put some new impressions behind that thing. Man, the song is so beautiful. It's called "Into Your Arms," and I think that when that song hits the market, it's almost like the song, like the one by Michael Jackson called "You Are Not Alone." It kind of reminds me of that.
Oh
Mm.
wow. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's that powerful. I don't know if even Rob realized it. I know it's that powerful because when
What
he
y'all
was he
supposed
was
to
in church
do?
one time and he was singing it, and I had tears in my eyes. It was so powerful. And I've been singing with him 20 years. What the hell I'm doing with tears in my eyes?
I know that's right.
You got
Hey,
So I mean, and I think that's what going to be one of our big hits. And we got several more. We got another one called "Glory to the King." And we flipped the song "You Make Me Feel Brand New" by the Stylistics. And Ted Mills told Robert Scott, he said, we put our foot all in that thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
mm.
we smoked that thing with Norris Gurganus, man. We killed it.
Well, that's a popular song for a long time now. If
Yeah,
y'all put
yeah.
y'all
And
If
And
y'all put y'all foot,
wait till you hear Rob lead vocals on that thing. That look, at 60 something years old, the man still sounds like he in his 20s. So when he was in his 20s, he sounded just like Prince.
mm,
When
Yeah.
Identical.
I heard him the other day, I'm like, what the hell do y'all need with me?
I remember when you said
yeah.
that. I said, yeah, I said, well, you know that you just add some more flavor to this thing, man.
Flavor.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Cal, they need your swag. If they need your swag. When I see you in the church, I didn't know if you was an artist, if you was security. I thought you was security over there where you stand over in the cut the other day. I said, who this brother? He got me scared to come over here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but the way you was so cool with it, they need your swag.
Cal
Yeah.
definitely like he need to be on somebody's movie set for real.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
Well,
And one more thing, y'all. And now I'm gonna drop a little tidbit on you. And I'm not gonna talk much about this here, but we're working on a movie, and with Pastor Spurlock being the lead actor,
oh wow, oh wow.
and
So
and
so,
we're
so
doing, we're doing the soundtrack.
Jacob, just to give you a background on Spurlock, well, because my wife used to teach. That's the one that used to teach his kids or whatever.
Yes,
And so Mr. Spurlock used to be the I think armor bearer for Pastor uh,
Bishop Morton.
Bishop Morton. Yeah, Bishop Morton.
Okay.
The one that did that real big gospel song.
Yeah, you talking about open up the floodgates. Yeah,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one. The one he used to be his armor bearer for years, and now he got his own church. That's how I met Cal and Mr. Diamond the other day when I went to their church for the first time.
Okay,
So
great.
God put you in the room you're supposed to be in. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Well,
God put
let me say something else about Pastor Spurlock. We also want him to. We want to capture a couple of his um
Sermons.
pastoring speeches and put it on the album because we want him involved. Um, Pastor Spurlock is very special,
Mhm.
very very special, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that what we bring to the table with him, that we can help to make the world see it with
Mm.
music as well.
Yeah, yeah,
That's great.
yeah. I would love to have him take a podcast and put it on our network so he can get it out to the 100 countries. So you know what I mean. I would
Yes,
definitely want to sit down and talk to him about that. See if he's interested in and bring his words of wisdom and everything to our platform.
yes.
Before we go, Jacob, go ahead and do our so we can go get these guys information now.
You're not tapped in with 95 South Podcasts, currently in 191 countries, powered by the Village Global Network, and you can catch us on Zeno FM. With online monitoring by online radio. And shout out to She Real Radio, T Dibs Radio. Thank you for having us as well. This is a production of the 95 South Podcast. And you're tuned in with Icon E and yours truly, King Jacob, young Barry White himself.
And you can also catch us on YouTube. You can subscribe to our YouTube page at 910 Sports Entertainment Network. Please subscribe. And if you want to interview, hit me up 95 South Podcast at gmail.com or for media also. And we have certain countries like Africa, Georgia, Albania, Mexico, China, Japan. That's just to name some of the countries that we're in. We try to name drop some of those countries, different ones every episode, so we give their appreciation to those countries in Russia and so we everywhere. So anyway, guys, just give us your information as far as where people can follow you, and anything that you're coming up. Got the event next Sunday at what time? 4:00.
I'm not sure, but I'm looking to speak with Pastor Spurlock tomorrow.
Okay, I'm gonna get me a flyer. I'm gonna post it on my Facebook page. I know Jacob with sale.
Most definitely.
And we'll get flyers out, any information out for the Easter show, and just
Yes.
give us y'all got any social medias. I know y'all guys, y'all old school, so y'all might not have social media like that. But anything y'all give us,
Well, we can ready to re-put it together because we got to get new pictures. I mean, Calvin is new, so we got to put all that stuff together now. See, we just kind of rejoining over the last couple weeks. I mean, we was
Oh, okay.
already the album out, but when we brought Calvin in, that changed things. We kind of doing some rearranging.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, like I said, any information, just hit me up. Send me anything over. Anything you send me, I'm gonna post it. You know what I'm saying? And let and put it on all our platforms, and where we can do to support you way. Any events y'all got coming, concerts, and
What I would say right now is if we could just send people to YouTube to look up Our Father, the New Impressions, and check out our new song, and from there they'll be able to keep up with everything.
Yeah, I definitely post that tonight for sure.
Yes, Our Father, the New Impressions. We like to get that played as much as possible.
Okay.
okay, we'll do. And like I said, we can send it over. Being that we're not podcast, being that we with Village Global
Excuse me.
radio station, so we can get it to the other radio personalities and have them play that song on the other stations and really push that song as much as possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So,
the whole
but
right now is to push that song. We can just get that out there. That'll get us out there to the point that we can start to gain enough momentum to get the album out there and start to get this movie done and finished.
okay. All right. But
Yes.
I appreciate y'all from coming on. I know I learned a lot just off the mastering stuff, and and just y'all such a legendary career, and for y'all to still keep going and not just keep going, y'all look good while y'all doing it. You know what I mean?
Thank you, sir.
Y'all dang sure don't look y'all age. You know what I mean?
Not at all. Not at
Glad to
all.
see that.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that 'cause I'm 69 now.
yeah, I can't tell. You know what I mean? So so I thought Cal was about 40 something. When I met him, I'm like, good Lord. What you been doing? Whatever you been doing, I need that.
Only thing that matters right now, people get ready. There's
There's
a
a train.
train coming.
Come
Won't
on.
need no baggage. You just get on the road.
Yes, sir. And we gonna end it with that, fellas.
Peace and blessings.
Have a blessed night.
All right, you too.
Got the good vibe, got the 1942 pouring in my cup.